It's 2003, and the Wizards rang in the new year with their second consecutive victory, making Michael Jordan's return to Chicago a sweet memory. Tonight, MJ and the Wiz are looking for their third straight win against an Indiana Pacer team that boasts the second-best record in the Eastern Conference, but blew an 11-point fourth-quarter lead in frustrating fashion last night in New York. It's Reggie Miller and the Pacers against MJ and the Wizards. Next. Sportsnet presents Wizards basketball. Tonight live from the MCI Center in Washington, D.C. It's the Washington Wizards and the Indiana Pacers. Reggie and the Pacers come to Washington with an attitude, fresh off a loss to the Knicks last night in New York. But Jermaine O'Neal and company are still in first place in the Central Division, while Jerry Stackhouse, Michael Jordan, and crew come off two impressive victories against the Spurs and the Bulls. Tonight, it's the third of four meetings this season between the 15-17 Wizards and the 23-9 Indiana Pacers.
Well, it's Jermaine O'Neal that grabbed it, and you can see how that rim was shaking, just swallowed the ball up.
Al Harrington in the game. O'Neal at the line, a 76% free throw shooter. Misses the attempt at the three-point play, and Laettner has another rebound, his third. Michael Jordan has the last 7 Washington points. Stackhouse spinning on the fadeaway, too strong. Tinsley blocked by Jordan, and a foul is called.
Jordan's not going to like that, and I can understand that. Tinsley is the player that actually initiates the contact. Jordan just goes up with two hands. It was a shot easy to block because Tinsley's fading back away after the contact. Watch again. There you see him trying to make some space, jumps into Jordan.
As Tinsley misses the first and makes the second. Tinsley averaging just over 8 points, 3.5 rebounds, but 8.2 assists. He's third in the NBA and also 9th in the league in steals. Beautiful play.
Well, Tinsley stripped the ball from behind Larry Hughes that time, punched it loose, and they were able to get a 3-on-1 break and convert.
Haywood will take the baseline jumper and miss it. Here's O'Neal spinning and scoring.
Good job by Brendan that time. Make him make difficult shots. Nothing easy.
And Doug Collins wants time. Well, last night in New York, Latrell Sprewell hit a big shot for the Knicks down the stretch. He had 25, and then Brad Miller with a chance to win it with a three-point field goal at the end, but he can't hit it. And afterwards, Ron Artest throws a TV monitor and breaks a camera. Today, he was suspended 3 games and fined $35,000 for his actions. The $35,000 will go towards the payment to Madison Square Garden for the monitor. Haywood tips it up and in, but somebody will be responsible for the rest of the cost of that camera, which I'm told is $100,000.
I would think it would be the person that did the most damage to it.
Which would be Ron Artest. So he's
I'm not
gone.
naming names, I'm just saying.
It's on the videotape, don't lie. And he's the one that tore up the camera. So he is not with the team tonight. Al Harrington hit the last shot. Here's Stackhouse. Laettner's blocked, and the Wizards turn it over.
Well, that time, Jerry Stackhouse decided he wanted to post up Harrington. Probably should have cleared out there and let Laettner take the smaller Tinsley, who is guarding him.
Harrington has hit 2 in a row in his 5th year from St. Patrick's High School in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And a double technical foul has been called on Jermaine O'Neal and on Christian Laettner. Double technical call.
Well, going back to Harrington, here's a player that when Jermaine O'Neal was out with his injury for the 4 games, Harrington averaged over 24 points a game, including a career-high 40-point game. He was 15 for, I think, 25 in that game. Outstanding talent that, again, just shows you the depth of this Indiana team.
Jordan hits another one. Michael has 9 points in the quarter. Harrington is 3 for 3 off the bench in just 2 minutes. And Kwame Brown, who played a magnificent game in Chicago, is set to come in. Jumper no good.
I think Jordan may have gotten a piece of that from behind.
Hughes pulls up and hits again.
Well, they're doing so many things right offensively. Get back. Jermaine O'Neal never left the other side of the court. In fact, never left the basket.
Washington by 7. Hughes has 7 points. Stackhouse has 5 and Jordan 9. Laettner inside, and Sean Corbin calls a foul. And I believe it's on Al Harrington. And let's send it over to George Johnson. George?
Well, Steve, to follow up on what you were talking about when it comes to Ron Artest, talking to Isaiah Thomas, the head coach of the Pacers before the game, I asked him, I said, what would make Ron react so violently? He says, every time we play New York, that game takes us out of character. We have several kids from New York, guys like Tinsley and Harrington and Ron, who are from that city, and that game is always very big for them. As for Artest, he said he did talk to him before the game and says, listen, you cannot put yourself in a situation where you do something like that because you are at the mercy of the league and you will get screwed. Although I have to add, this is nothing new. You know, Artest has been known to be very upset at times, and even there's talk that he takes anger management classes within the team. So they know about Ron and his temper, and that wasn't that surprising. Back to you guys.
Well, he can be a very volatile guy. It was Artest who engaged Michael Jordan this summer, and Jordan resulted, the result of that was some broken ribs by Michael.
Anytime you got a guy 6'7", nearly 250 pounds, and I understand he's really worked extremely hard during this past offseason to add even more bulk and muscle.
Christian Laettner comes out. Etan Thomas is in for Washington. Laettner has 4 rebounds. He has been much more aggressive the last 4 or 5 games and really stepped up his play. Ron Mercer shoots and misses, and Stackhouse is there.
Todd also was a part of that bench crew that did extremely well in Chicago.
Michael's shot is blocked, but a foul is called, and he'll shoot 2. Fans Group tickets are great for family, friends, or company outings. Gather a group of 20 or more for a Wizards game and get $5 off each ticket. For more info, call a Wizards sales rep at 202-661-5050. Tyronn Lue getting set to check into the game for Washington. Jordan missed his first 2 shots, but since then he's 4 for 4, and Michael has 10 points.
And Steve, he's shown a little extra spring in his legs. He made a nice move, drive to the basket where he elevated well. A couple of his jump shots, he got good lift on them. So he's feeling very spry today.
Thursday night in Chicago, Michael Jordan receives a 2-minute-plus standing ovation from the Bulls fans. He has told Bulls management he did not want any special ceremony for either of his final 2 games in Chicago this past Thursday, or the one coming up on the 24th of this month. The attendance for that game was 23,049. The official capacity there, 21,711. So they snuck a few more people in than they could hold, and every single one of them was standing and applauding for Michael Jordan. Not only that, but towards the end of the game when the Wizards were clearly in control and Michael was resting, About 10,000 of them were screaming, "We want Mike, we want Mike."
I mean, you understand how this love connection works. I mean, this guy brought 6 championships to that team and certainly put them on the map there.
Another Washington turnover. Mercer. Foster, who's come off the bench to play well so far. And they'll set it up. Wizards by 2 after leading by as many as 15. So the Pacers have come back. Harrington drives, lays it off underneath. Foster's tied up and blocked.
Well, he made the same mistake of time. They brought the ball down.
Boy, I don't know about that. A lot of running contact. I thought it was a block. I did not think that Strickland had position. Our singular wireless, you make the call. Well, he was moving, but he was in front of Larry Hughes, or Tyronn Lue, I should say.
Well, Larry has a tendency to try to split defenders, especially in transition, and that's what he was going for. But I think Strickland shut down that hole very quickly.
It was Hughes. Reggie off a screen, takes about 3 steps, and then nails a three-pointer. Wizards have 6 turnovers in the last 6 minutes, and the Washington trails now by 1.
And the Pacers are shooting at a tremendous pace in this quarter.
Hughes, the long jumper. Miller again.
Good job by the official not to fall for that. Reggie Miller was falling off balance before Larry Hughes even got there.
Alley-oop for Jordan, inside, off the glass, good. They challenged Michael to take that over-the-shoulder pass on the alley-oop, and it worked. Huge three-pointer for Strickland.
Well, big night tonight. 15 points already. See the three-pointer out on the corner, but also getting into the paint. And Washington needs to get into the paint a little bit more. Right now, their long jumpers aren't falling.
Michael against the Pacers with an average of 29.9 points per game.
Well, that can be said
a lot of teams.
For most of the teams, yeah. I said he had 15 points. I stand corrected. Only 13 points.
Now he's got 15. He was just toying with you, Phil.
Well, way to make the announcers look good.
So the Wizards in the first 5 minutes ran off to a 17-2 lead. Since then, Indiana's outscored them 40-25. Harrington again, he has been unbelievable. 17 points for Al Harrington on 8 of 9 shooting. Drafted by the Pacers out of high school 5 years ago, 25th overall. Hughes streaking to the basket, and he's fouled. Will shoot 2. Called it on Eric Strickland. Here's another look.
Well, this time it's Larry Hughes that attacks the basket. There you see, gets the angle. You see that forearm of Strickland trying to nudge him out of the position. That's a foul. And Hughes gets to the line. I believe they called the foul on Strickland.
They did.
Right?
Yes, they did. Fans with Hot 5, you can play and win 25-7. That's $25,000 7 days a week. Be a part of DC Lottery's winning lineup and play Hot 5 today. Larry Hughes makes them both. At his season high of 24 at Dallas, 12 rebounds against Detroit. And Larry has 12 points here tonight in 1+ quarters. Harrington with Russell on him now. Lost it inside and got fouled. Called it on Hughes.
Well, I like what we saw from Brian Russell that time. He was not going to let him elevate, forcing him to put the ball on the floor and try and do something different. Harrington, as you mentioned moments ago, has only missed one shot, and most of those were jumpers. So now make him put the ball on the floor, do something different.
Harrington had his career high this year against Atlanta of 40 points. Strickland scores. Nice move. Pacers by 2. Wizards have had some problems with turnovers here in the first half. Jordan lost it and gets it to Russell. Bryant drives inside, and an offensive foul on Russell.
Offensive foul number 2, Brian Russell. This is first personal.
We talked about the depth of this team, and you can see the bench is really mainly responsible for them coming back after Washington had a 15-point lead in the first quarter.
Hughes, nice pass, Stackhouse. Jerry can't hit. Larry is there and scores. 14 points for Larry Hughes and 4 rebounds. Brendan Haywood off the Washington bench. Tipped away. Nice defensive play by Leitner. Here's Hughes from 16.
Good decision there. Had a 3-on-2 break. Had his wings filled. The defense dropped back. He stops at the free throw line. He's got the open shot. He put it down.
16 points for Larry Hughes.
Boy, there's been an awful lot of turnovers from both teams.
Again, they force feed O'Neal. Spins on Leitner, gets the rebound, and is fouled by Brian Russell. Jordan, Hughes, Stackhouse, 42 points. The rest of the team now 8. Jumper. Wizards with 1 second. This is good if it goes, and it doesn't. So the Wizards, after building a 15-point lead, shoot 53%. Hughes at 16, MJ 15, Stackhouse at 11. Back, they wound up shooting 55% from the floor in the first half.
Well, Steve, we talked about how deep this team is. They had great scoring off the bench, particularly with Al Harrington. But you've got to commend Washington's offense. They're getting the job done, particularly Michael Jordan, who was 6 for 9, hit a 3 right there. Comes back after a lob from Tyronn Lue, gets a shot off the glass. And Larry Hughes continues his hot shooting. He also 6 for 9 from the field. Had 16 points in that first half. But you look at the scoring and you see Stackhouse, Hughes, and Jordan. On the other end, a lot more balance coming from the other side. But this guy really leading the way, 8 for 9, 17 points. He's really filled a nice void.
Wizards shoot 52%. They out-rebound the Pacers by 4. The turnovers have really hurt Washington. 12 turnovers in the first half. You know, Ron Artest was suspended from the league 3 games and fined $35,000 for smashing a television monitor and splintering a TV camera. I brought this just in case, Phil, to offer to maybe some of our Comcast Sportsnet photographers as a little added protection in case Artest
They have hazardous pay. They're all right.
They do. Luckily for them, Ron Artest is not here tonight and will be missing for the Pacers' next 2 games as well. They're also missing his 15-point average, but so far it hasn't hurt him. Al Harrington, Jermaine O'Neal, and Reggie Miller have come back and have tied the Wizards at the half, 53-all at the MCI Center, with second half action about to commence. Straight, Jerry Stackhouse with 11 points and Michael Jordan 11 in the first quarter, 15 for the half. Isaiah Thomas plotting a comeback. It's to get Reggie Miller involved, and he does. Reggie making both of his three-point shots in the first half. And Al Harrington off the bench scoring 17 points in 16 minutes on 8 of 9 shooting. Michael Jordan and the Wizards saw their 15-point lead disappear. And after one half of basketball, it's Washington 53 and Indiana 53. As the Wizards look for a victory here at home, the Pacers led by Harrington with 17, O'Neal 13, Miller 8, Strickland 5, and Jamal Tinsley 4. Larry Hughes leads the Wizards with 16, MJ 15, Stackhouse 11. Pass, and it's stolen by Tinsley, who goes to Miller. That's knocked away by Hughes, taken inside by Brad Miller, and he scores easily. Wizards.
He should be headed for his second All-Star game.
Game tied at 63. Wizards have come back from 7 down. Oakley, well, I thought he had a lane for a moment. Jordan works free and hits. 19 points for Michael Jordan, whose season high is 33 against Memphis.
Jordan recognizing that time the effort of Oakley on offense. He was the one that got him the ball.
Blocked by Jordan, and a foul will be called on Michael.
Still like this effort from Jordan. He has been so aggressive on the defensive end. Gets a little body contact, but he's aggressively going to go for that block shot to help his teammate Brendan Haywood. He gets a lot of ball, but he does get a little body too.
O'Neal shoots 76% from the line. At his season high of 30 at Milwaukee. And as we mentioned a while ago, 21 rebounds against the Wizards on November 26th. That was his career high. NBA's most improved player last season. Again tied at 65 as the Wizards look for their third consecutive victory after beating the Spurs here New Year's Eve and Chicago Thursday at the United Center. Nice move by Stackhouse.
That was a nice move. You talk about attacking the basket, going after it fearlessly. That's just what you saw from Stackhouse.
15 points for Jerry Stackhouse. Miller off a screen. Tinsley misses short, and Haywood is there. 6 rebounds for Brendan Haywood. Well, Hughes almost lost it. Gets it back, and is blocked by O'Neal.
Boy, if he could have dropped that one off to Haywood. Good hustle. Stay with the play.
Jordan slips, gets it to Haywood, who slams it in. Jordan off his rear end, assisted on the play.
Like I said, stay with the play. You have to improvise sometimes.
Wizards by 4. Sellout crowd, and they love it. Reggie. Mercer will try, and he misses. See the scoring run in the last 5 minutes and 10 seconds. 14-3 Wizards. Stackhouse is bumped by Mercer, no shot. And the foul will be on Ron Mercer.
The pace defensively, that's just what they've done the last 5 minutes, 57 seconds. The Pacers are 0 for 8 from the field. Washington 5 for 9. They've outscored them 16-12 so far this quarter. But most important, they've started to cool down this hot shooting team that shot 55% in the first half.
Wizards from the free throw line now 10 of 13 as Stackhouse misses the first and makes the second. The Pacers had a 4-game winning streak snapped by the Knicks last night. It was the second longest current streak in the league. The Nets had won 7 in a row and extended it to 8 in a row last night. Mercer dumps it off O'Neal. He's fouled, and he'll go to the line again. It's on Brendan Haywood. 3, 70-67. Jordan checks the clock and is fouled. Overall pick by the Pacers in the draft, and Michael Jordan goes to the line. Makes the first. Fans, when attending the next Wizards home game, make sure you vote for your favorite Wizard All-Stars. This year, both MJ and Jerry Stackhouse are representing the Wizards on the All-Star ballot. So make sure and fill out your ballot. Send both of them to the All-Star game in Atlanta. 21 points in the game for Michael Jordan. Wizards by 5. Harrington, fade away on Oakley. Pretty shot. Al Harrington, 19 points.
He looks like he's trying to pick up right where he left off in the first half. Only missed 1 shot, 8 for 9.
Scored 17 first half points. That's his first field goal here in the second. Jordan wants to take it on one-on-one against Harrington. Had it knocked away. Michael had it knocked away twice. Goes to the floor and a 24-second violation on Washington. And now what's Sean Corbin saying to Bob Delaney?
We're going to put 1 second on the shot clock.
Wizards ball.
And give the ball to Washington. Great defense by Harrington. Outstanding. Haywood takes the shot. Almost got it off the glass. Wizards lead is back to 3. 1:33 to go, third quarter.
You love seeing somebody like Oakley get the shot and put it down because he does so much to try and help his teammates get shots off by setting picks and doing other things.
O'Neal is fouled again. It's on Brendan Haywood. Harrington wide open. His shooting tonight has been nothing short of spectacular. He's missed 1 shot in 11 attempts.
Yeah, I don't think any of them have been any closer than 3 or 4 feet. I think all of them have been jump shots.
Fred Jones doing a nice job on Jerry Stackhouse, blanketing the former Carolina star. Open for that jumper, and he missed it. And Jones gets the rebound. Eric Strickland drills a 3-pointer, and the Pacers are back on top by 2. Lou at the buzzer, nearly got it.
What a counting.
Our entire Comcast Sportsnet crew, as the Wizards saw a 7-point lead get away. Lou's shot is blocked by Jamal Tinsley, and an inauspicious beginning to the fourth quarter for the Wizards. Pacers by 2. Jermaine O'Neal backs in on Haywood. Fadeaway jumper. Missed it.
I'll tell you, Haywood has been making things difficult for Jermaine O'Neal tonight.
Wizards need some firepower. Stackhouse knocked to the floor. Ball comes loose. The Wizards turn it over. Harrington has another.
Well, he's just not doing anything wrong. Down low, Oakley has the ball. Gets it down to Lou. Good passing. Frees it right there. Lou gets the ball to Jordan. Jordan gets the ball over to Haywood between the two defenders. Doesn't get the shot, but he does get the foul call. And MJ always alert, always knowing he's aware of the 8-second count, the last turnover by the Pacers. Washington has the ball and it has a chance to go back up, take the lead.
See Michael say 8 seconds, which is the new time to get it over the timeline this year. And in almost 4 minutes of play, each team has just one field goal. The Pacers are 1 for 4. That was an Al Harrington basket. And the Wizards are 1 for 7. An MJ basket and a Brendan Haywood free throw. So both teams are frigid here in the fourth quarter.
Well, defense is going to take over now.
Tinsley. MJ is there with Oakley. Once again, the Wizards with an opportunity to regain the lead, trailing by 1. Jordan fadeaway. How about that? 25 points for MJ. And the Wizards lead by 1. Harrington's jumper. Finally, just his second miss of the night. Collins off the bench screaming offensive instructions. Lou, the short runner, he got hit with no call, and Hughes steals it away. Jordan again. Lays it off Haywood in the lane, and it's taken away, but they get it back. 2 seconds to shoot. Oakley, they're not going to get it off. 24-second foul.
Yeah, Pacers never gain possession of that ball. Therefore, you cannot reset the 24-second shot clock.
Great Indiana defense. A look at our Dodge game summary. The Wizards jumped out to a 15-point lead to start the game, but then Harrington and O'Neal took over, and Washington has hit 5 3-pointers, but the Pacers 8 of 12 from long range.
Yeah, look how many Washington shot. 16. Their high for the year is 17. So they've taken a lot of 3-pointers.
Wizards by 1 with 6:11 to play in regulation as Washington looks for their first win against the Pacers in 3 games this season. Fadeaway, no good. Hughes for Jordan. Michael streaking off the glass, and a blocking foul is called, and MJ will shoot 2.
Fronting him, making him rush his shots, and I think that was the key to this game so far.
Glenn Consor, Bernie Bickerstaff, I'm George Johnson. Again, after the show, we bring you our Guaranteed Residential Lending Wizards post-game live. Back over to you, Buck.
Michael Jordan, his first miss from the free throw line tonight. Now 7 of 8 from the line. The Pacers opened the quarter with a Harrington fast break basket 1 minute into the period, and they led 78-74. They are scoreless in the last 5 minutes, and the Wizards have outscored them 6-0. However, free throws will be coming for Brad Miller.
Sometimes it's more difficult to stay up with.
Game tied at 80. Stackhouse, Haywood, Hughes, Jordan, and Oakley for the Wizards. Reggie Miller back in the game, as Bernie Bickerstaff alluded to. Michael Jordan for 3. His second three-pointer of the night, and he's got 29 on the evening. Wizards by 3. What a big basket. Harrington spinning inside, and he's fouled again by Haywood.
Yeah, that's just a tough matchup for Brendan.
This was April 1st, 1997. Washington trying to work for a good shot. Jordan lays it underneath, and it's stolen away.
Well, you can see Indiana went into their zone and just packed the middle there.
Harrington, 14-footer, no good. O'Neal slapped away underneath and fouled by Oakley.
Number 34, Charles Oakley, second personal foul, team's 4th.
Well, first of all, Jordan had Jermaine boxed out, but Jermaine had some contact on the back, and once he got the rebound, you saw Oakley and Jordan jamming him and trying to come up with the steal.
Wizards cling to a 1-point lead. Here's Miller for Tinsley. Tinsley slashing. Harrington, what a move! How do you like that? He has been spectacular. 27 points for Al Harrington. Michael Jordan has the last 8 points for Washington, but the Pacers have regained the lead. Laettner's back in. Here's MJ again. Got another one. Three-pointer, his third of the game. 32 points for Jordan, a point away from matching his season high. Knocked away by Oakley. Clean steal.
Boy, Jermaine O'Neal really trying to take Laettner underneath the basket there.
Hughes, boy, they got Stackhouse on the wing and nobody can find him. Oakley's jumper. Got it!
Boy, Oakley's hit 2 critical baskets in this quarter.
Isaiah Thomas wants time, and the fans are on their feet in the phone booth. Washington on a 14-4 run to take a 4-point lead with 3:35 to play in regulation. He's fouled and he scores. And that's the way the ball bounces.
Yeah, Harrington made a move across the middle, and you thought he was going to be right here. Boy, he took another step, still moved his feet. Should have gotten called for a travel, but Jermaine O'Neal comes up with the missed shot.
So the Wizards' 4-point lead is down to 2. And he missed it. Oakley has done a marvelous job since coming into this game. Has played 17 minutes, has 4 rebounds and 3 assists and 2 big field goals. Stackhouse has been quiet in this period. Finds Laettner. Laettner fires the jumper and missed it. Here comes Jordan to help. Tinsley's open for the jumper. He hits a 3-pointer, and that hurts. Pacers by 1. Jordan had to slough off to help out, and it left Tinsley wide open. Michael streaking. No foul. No foul called. Jordan with a season-high 34 points.
I told you he had a little extra juice in those legs today.
Washington by 1. Here's Miller. O'Neal. Harrington. Jumper. Oh, my goodness. He has been unbelievable. 29 points for Al Harrington. And Doug Collins looking for a time, but Hughes didn't see it. And a timeout, Washington. Hughes was the only player that went down the court. The rest of his teammates were walking to the bench. Jordan, who will be 40 years old on February 17th, is playing a magnificent game. Wizards down by 1. Oakley. Jordan, they slough off for the double team. Now he tries the lane and is fouled.
You knew Harrington was going to go after him. I think he has a little extra adrenaline when it comes to going against Jordan. And Jordan wisely took it all the way to the rack and made sure he got some contact. I don't know if they called that on O'Neal or Harrington.
I think it was on O'Neal, and that's his 4th personal. Michael, you see 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Ouch. Game 35 points for Jordan. Reggie Miller tonight has 11 points on 3 of 6 shooting. O'Neal, Jordan helps out, leaves Tinsley open, and he scores. They have done a great job of finding the open man.
Now, this is a team that averages over 25 assists a game. They do a good job of moving the ball around, and that's why they have 5 players that average in double figures.
Jordan fadeaway, got another one. 37 for his airness. 16 in the quarter.
But they have to get a stop.
Listen to this crowd. Good block. Christian Laettner with an outstanding block on O'Neal.
He got it from behind.
Isaiah Thomas takes a timeout. Fans on their feet. Tremendous ball game in Washington. And with 32.6 seconds to play, we are tied at 93. The sellout crowd, they sold out all of their home games this year.
5 seconds of defense.
O'Neal slaps, shoots. Oh, what a shot! Big basket by Jermaine O'Neal. And Doug Collins wants time. 24 points in the game for Jermaine O'Neal. And let's check in with George Johnson. George?
Well, Buck, Doug wants Jerry Stackhouse, obviously, to get wide open, but Michael Jordan will receive a screen from Christian Laettner. Larry Hughes, who inbounds it, will then go down and pick for Jerry Stackhouse. They'll both be around the foul line area. It'll be Mike's opportunity first to do what he can do. If he can't find anything, look for him to get to Jerry Stackhouse. Back to you.
Now, Jordan has Harrington on him, and Harrington has presented some problems defensively.
Jordan races inside, lays it off for Hughes. Lost the ball, got it back. Still plenty of time. Hughes penetrates.
Nice move. Nice move.
Thomas wants time. Heads-up play from start to finish by Larry Hughes.
Well, first of all, just coming up with that loose ball, but then he made an excellent one-on-one move to slice in front of the defender, took him out of the play, and then had to go against one of the big men of Indiana down low.
Doug Collins says he thinks that they will be going inside to Harrington or O'Neal, but he looked at Jerry Stackhouse and he said, do not forget Reggie Miller. Obviously, if they get the rebound, they'll call a 20-second timeout. Back to you.
This is the stage of the game where the officials have a tendency to let things play. They don't like to decide the game on a whistle. Certainly if there's an obvious foul, they'll call it. Tinsley, guarded by Jordan. Miller off a screen with a fake, the jumper, missed it at the buzzer, and we've got overtime. How many times has Reggie Miller taken that shot and made it to break the back of another team?
Did you notice how they waited to the last possible second to get the ball in his hands? Their execution was very good. A staggered pick set by Miller and Jermaine O'Neal. They get the ball. And here you see Tinsley get the ball in his hand. He has received it with about 2 or 3 seconds. Had enough time to put it on the floor one time and then release it. You can see it off just a little bit to the right. Brendan Haywood has to come out and respect that outside shot.
16.
Jordan's going to need some help. They can't expect him to continue to score at the pace we saw in the fourth quarter. And there you see Al Harrington leading the way for his team, 29 points.
And they put 5 minutes up on the clock. Haywood will jump center with O'Neal. And beats the tap on the way up. And Indiana controls it.
Haywood has 5 fouls.
O'Neal fadeaway. Missed it. overtime in Washington. Steve Buckhands, Phil Chenier, George Johnson. Our statistician Paul Evans, stage manager Kerry McKinney. Stackhouse. MJ around Harrington. Ball batted away and stolen. Turnover. Harrington fouled by Hughes. And Delaney wins out as Harrington makes the first and the second. Al Harrington with a spectacular game, 31 points. At his career high of 40 this year against Atlanta. Pacers by 2. Doug Collins screaming, move the ball. The Wizards get into trouble when they have to hold the ball. Stackhouse, 4 seconds. Lays it off. Jordan, the open jumper. Little short, tipped out of bounds. I'll give it to the Wizards. Fresh 24. Washington sets it up. Leitner inside. Fade away. Got it. Just the fourth point for Leitner.
Yeah, but he did a good job of establishing strong inside position on Miller.
Tied at 97. Tinsley guarded by Leitner for Miller. Tinsley's jumper way short.
I don't know if Leitner got a piece of that or Tinsley was just indecisive on his shot. That was way short.
10th rebound of the game for Michael Jordan. Inside Leitner, missed it and lost it inside. Harrington spins on Stackhouse, blocked from behind, no call.
Well, what a play from Stackhouse.
Charles Oakley for Jordan. Michael fires for Stackhouse, and Doug Collins wants time. Overtime number 1 here in Washington. Miller back to Tinsley. They look for O'Neal, knocked away by Leitner. And O'Neal gets it back. Fadeaway jumper. Missed it. Oakley's there with Jordan. And Jordan has 11 rebounds in the game. That is a season high for Michael Jordan. So a season high in points with 37 and 11 boards. Stackhouse been very quiet. Leitner fires. Rims it. Nearly came in.
Boy, they've been a little slow in setting things up and getting into their offense to try to attack this team. I know they're playing a zone and making it difficult for them.
Miller back to Tinsley, looks into the middle. Miller from the baseline.
Both teams packing it in inside, so whoever hits that first perimeter shot.
Both teams have scored just 1 field goal in the overtime. Jordan going inside, kicks it out for Stackhouse. Too strong. Leitner battling and gets it, and he is held. Loose ball foul on Indiana. Great effort by Christian Leitner.
It really was. He was sandwiched by 2 of the Pacers. Oh, now they've changed the call, saying the foul was on Leitner.
What? First of all, he's held.
Well,
there's a push.
There's a push there.
But I don't know if that's when the call was made. Maybe the call was made there. Wow. Boy, you can't fault him for that effort. That was outstanding. Tough call.
Well, again, that matchup with Harrington, he's so strong for a big guard to try and deal with.
33 points for Harrington. Stackhouse on Miller, fade away, got it. 18 points for Stackhouse. We're tied at 99. Shot clock is off. Fans on their feet at the MCI Center. Inside, near steal. Here's O'Neal. On Laettner, fade away, no good. And we'll go to another overtime. He'll take the shot. Oakley is there for a gigantic rebound. Game tied at 101. Jordan, and he's fouled, and Michael hangs on for dear life, and Sean Corbin says it's on the pass.
Is that a flagrant?
Yeah, I believe. Well, let's see what they call. I think it is.
Jordan changes the speed. Remember we talked about the change of pace. So he catches Harrington a little bit asleep. Harrington trying to get back into the play and not allow what could have been an easy layup. Gets called for the flagrant one, and that sends Jordan to the line, and Washington will retain possession.
Michael, 8 of 10. Now 9 of 11. 40 points on the game for Michael Jordan. Reggie Miller is speaking with Sean Corbin. .114 in double OT. Jordan. One-on-one with Harrington. Michael is pushed by Harrington and fouled. A reset the shot clock to 14. Fifth personal on Harrington.
Well, watch his body contact. He's trying to stay in front of him right there. Body checks it.
Underneath Laettner. And he's fouled. Great look from Larry Hughes.
Well, they took advantage of the aggressive play defensively. Watch how aggressive they are in coming out trying to challenge the ball. Here's Laettner here. Miller's going to come out with him. Oakley's coming here to get the ball, and then Laettner goes back door, but that was because they're playing so aggressively. You see the double team? Now, Larry Hughes sees that Laettner's wide open underneath the basket.
First free throws of the night for Christian Laettner, who's 41 of 54 on the season. Whoa! Used all of
that time, didn't you?
Christian in his 27th game, 28th game, makes them both. Washington by 4.
Force him to consume time. Force him to consume time.
Fans on their feet. Harrington for Strickland. Oh, he hit a 3! Wizards by 1. Collins screams out the play. Wizards need a basket here. Jordan shoots it, misses, chased down by Indiana. And timeout taken by Isaiah Thomas. They can play for the final shot. They can play for the win. O'Neal inside. Strickland's been hot. And of course, Reggie Miller.
That's right.
Watch him coming off a screen. How many times has he done it? Larry Hughes is on Miller. They get it to Strickland. Started by Jordan. Underneath. Ball knocked away. The Wizards will get it back. How do you like that?
That was MJ that forced that turnover, quickly pinched Harrington and forced him to mishandle that ball. Watch how quickly he drops in there. Harrington trying to cover up. The ball goes off his leg. Washington has possession.
Full court pressure on the inbound. And a timeout taken by Washington. And they can throw the ball into the backcourt if necessary.
I don't think they will, not inbounding the ball there.
Yeah, it's much farther up, obviously, than where it was. Stackhouse takes it in the backcourt and then gets fouled. So that's exactly.
That answers our question. You can.
Pretty heady play by Jerry Stackhouse.
Well, he wanted to make sure he had established himself in the backcourt.
And not gone from the front to the back. Doug Collins screaming at his team. Doug Collins in front of us, Phil, screaming to the Wizards, we have a foul to give. Very important.
Boy, looking at that play by Jerry Stackhouse again, I can't emphasize enough how quickly he thought and made the right decisions, because he was right on that half-court line.
19 for Stackhouse, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Huge. Timeout, Isaiah Thomas. Miller missed it. Lou, he's pushed, no call. And he calls time. They'll call a jump ball. Doug Collins is fuming. Tyronn Lue was pushed when he went to get the rebound, and Doug says that is a foul. He cannot believe it.
There's the ball off the rim, and right from that point on, he gets pushed by, I believe that's Strickland. Yeah, again. Oh, man.
I saw the New York Jets game today. They didn't throw blocks that well.
Nothing behind you. That's right. You got this guy. They can't let any players get behind them.
5.1 seconds to play. Strickland jumps with Lou. They get it. Miller around Hughes for the tie. He missed it. The Wizards win it. The Wizards win. How do you like that?
Is it over?
20,178. Witness one of the most thrilling games in Wizards history. A double overtime victory over the Indiana Pacers. And let's send it over to George Johnson. George?
Mike, obviously a big game against a club that has shown that it's one of the toughest teams in the Eastern Conference. Did you come in this one saying this is one we really need to get after losing to them two previous?
Yeah, I mean, we really needed this one. I mean, we've been playing well, for the last month or so, and we just had little stretches where we really couldn't put it together. But the last 3 games, I think we've been putting it together, and we had a chance to come out and test it against, division leader right now, and, we just played well. I'm happy with the guys, the way they just finished out the ball game.
They're going to talk about the age, but you came out against this young boy, Harrington. Little smile, little jawing back and forth. What, did it become a little personal late in the game?
He is a challenge. He plays me very physical. He tries to use his body a lot, which is tough for me, because obviously I got to use my quickness what little bit I got and use my head a little bit, try to get into foul trouble, get some easy fouls. But it was a great challenge for us, and I think the guys answered the challenge.
As we check our Subway plays of the day, and Jordan was hustling all over the court tonight.
Here he slips on the floor. He's on his backside, but still has the presence to slide the pass over to Brendan Haywood for the easy 2. And here, a spectacular dunk over Jermaine O'Neal. He still has hops.
Wizards improved to 16-17 overall, 11-6 at home, and they win at 107-104.